Well, hello, folks. This is Joe from MIGeekScene, and I'm here with 2D6 for the 3-year anniversary of MIGeekScene. Check out this interview. Oh, hey, guys. How are you doing?
Hey, how's it going?
Well, folks, like I said at the beginning of the interview, I'm here with 2D6, the Nerdcore rap duo, at Shuto Con 2018 for our 3-year anniversary. Why are you laughing already?
You said Nerdcore rap duo was such, like, Nerdcore rap duo, and you looked like, I know you're not really a rapper. It's like...
Oh, no, that's false. You're
casting shade on us already. I get it, Joe.
No, no. I don't even do that, like, I'm going to do that journalistic condescending remarks towards you, like, oh, so you do rap, huh?
Listen, you don't need to put on a voice to be condescending. You got it down pat. Like, in the past 3 years, we've become very close.
Yes, we have been pretty close, but we'll get into that. So, mention 2D6.
Chairs and shins.
Oh yeah, we'll talk about that. But I'm here with DJ Stuck down in Mineshaft with a broken leg and Cliff B.
Howdy.
How are you two doing?
Fantastic.
Doing good. Yeah, just finished our show. It was fun.
You just had to think about that response, like
I wanted Cliff to go first. I never let him go first.
It's true. I'm always second. Sloppy seconds.
Oh, Cliff, why?
This will already be not safe for work, but that's neither here nor there. So, MC Mystery and Quality from the group Mustache Required are two of your inspirations in the rap game. Were there any particular songs from them that resonated with you, and why?
Oh my goodness, this is such a good question.
This is digging down that gold.
Yeah, they were a Pittsburgh-based. I don't think they would consider themselves nerdcore, did they?
They were. I think they considered themselves hip hop. Yeah, obviously, but I don't think they wanted to subscribe to being nerdcore just because, you know, they didn't want to pigeonhole themselves. I guess, though, their brand of rap was very nerdy and also very drug-centric.
This is not answering your question at all. They're oh, you want me to hold this? I can do this.
Switching hands. Oh my goodness.
Oh, now I'm in charge. Hi, I'm Saker from MIGeekScene.
We're gonna use real names now. Is that?
That's fine. We could do that. I think they're incredible. They broke up a couple years ago, but what songs do we bond over? Pizza by the Slice, I think, was certainly we cover one of their songs, 1803, which is our song about vampires. We cover that song. That's a Mustache Required classic. What else do we like by them?
Suck Two Dicks.
Suck Two Dicks. We used to open shows before we really had an opening with Suck Two Dicks, which it's really easy. You just have the audience start stomping, and then it goes something like this. You ready? Here we go. Suck 2 dicks in a row.
In a row.
Suck 2 dicks in a motherfucking row. Suck 2 dicks in a row.
In a row.
You can't air any of this interview.
Well, this is gonna be aired because it's like, was that inspired by Clerks?
I don't know.
30
in a row.
37 in a row.
We really need to bring that back.
We do. I miss that song.
Okay, well, since they inspired you to get into the rap game, did it take you a while to find your musical voice, or was it like easy for you right off the bat?
Well, Cliff was doing this like 6 or 8 or 12 months before I was. I don't know. You answer then.
I don't think we found a musical voice.
We're still looking.
I think we just are kind of yelling into the wind, and sometimes somebody hears it and likes it.
You know,
We're just screaming into the void.
I feel like from the first song that we did together, we definitely had we kind of understood it was going to be nerdcore. It was going to be he was the kind of laid back one, and I was the more energetic one. And I mean, because the first song on the first album that we do is that aesthetic already, sort of. So in terms of that, I think we knew. But in terms of what we were doing in general, no, we were and are clueless.
I feel like what can really boil us down, the very essence of 2D6, to this day still, it all started off as just stuff that amused us, and it just happened to amuse other people too. Like, we still do things based on whether we think it's funny, and other people just kind of come along for the ride.
You've been sneaking a peek at my questions. My goodness, that leads me into the next one.
Oh.
You include comedic skits on your album into your albums. Who are your comedic influences?
Big. Put those big air quotes around comedic. I don't like you using that word. Comedic influences. Good God. I am a big old podcast boy, so I would say everybody on the Super Ego team, Matt Gorley, Mark McConville, Paul F. Tompkins, Lauren Lapkus, Scott Aukerman. I mean, I listen to a lot of comedy podcasts, so that's where most of my comic influences come from, I'd say.
I'd say these days, your foundations, though, were a lot more like the MST3K, and then building on like Tim and Eric and like that kind of stuff. Like that laid your foundations down for sure.
That's true. That's true. Those are the foundations. Yeah. What about your comic voice?
I just say shit. I just say the first thing that comes to my head as long as it's not sexist or racist.
Does that come to your head first often that you have to hold yourself back from saying it?
Is that a struggle?
Just because of the kind of upbringing I had with the influences there, I do honestly sometimes deal with those thoughts coming into my head, but I always do my best to push those out because that's not the type of person I want to be.
Oh, you didn't think you'd dig deep on this question about comedic influences.
But, I mean, as far as actual influences go, I mean, definitely, like, I was a fan of Carlin growing up. I didn't really get into comedy, though, until probably later high school.
Okay.
Just because, like, I didn't have a lot of opportunity around. Like, the only comedian tapes that, like, my mom had were, like, a couple Jeff Foxworthy ones. And I knew from an early age what I didn't like.
You can hear that in the 2D6, I think, his Jeff Foxworthy upbringing.
You know you're a nerd, Wan.
That has to be a skit on the next album. That's so good, though. Honestly, I like that.
So why must Cliff die on all of the albums?
We stopped doing that.
I have not died to the last 2 albums.
I dare say false that you both died by being ripped apart by monsters.
Oh, shit. Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah. Why must Cliff die? I think it speaks to human nature. I think Cliff's constant deaths kind of remind us that we all must die, that to all good things there must come an end, and a time of darkness, because truly we cannot know life's greatest heights unless we know life's darkest lows. So it's just sort of telling people to experience the good with the bad. And he comes back every album, so it's good.
Really, I think it's just because Stuck's always been one for the spotlight, and he does not like sharing it, especially with how much I take up of it.
Yeah, on the next album, he's going to die on track 1. The tracks 2 through 15 are just going to be me. I'm excited.
It's going to be a solo album for the rest of it with a brief collaboration from Cliff B.
Yeah, we'll call it 2D6 because that's what gets the hits, but...
Brand recognition.
Yeah, I suppose so.
But last time I talked to you two, you had successfully kickstarted Goatsy for My Dad. Since then, you've released your latest album, Bottomless Fries, and other reasons we hate ourselves. Well, let's talk about those albums briefly.
Okay.
For this 3-hour interview, which is the way at the rate this is going.
You're gonna have to edit the shit out of this. What do you want to know about them?
We didn't talk about them the last time, so like
they have some songs on them. The cover for the one is black and red. The cover for the other is sort of like pixely Minecraft.
Pixely brown.
Yeah, a lot of fun. You'd like them, Joe. You should listen to them every once in a while.
I've listened to both of them numerous times, but you know what? Fine. We'll just skip that. We'll just go into the... You'll just cut this out. So they've released some albums with some hip-hop on them, folks. Hip-hop.
They're not thematic. They're just like, hey, we had 15 ideas. We got an album. We don't... Cliff keeps wanting to do a concept album. He's pitched me probably a dozen, and I keep saying no. What? Can you think of some of the ones that you've...
No, I can't because I just they get locked into my what I like to call my sadness vault in my heart.
That's good.
Where all of my good ideas go to die. And so the trash is just what you end up with on the 2D6 albums.
It's perfect.
So, with that being said, which song titles? Oh, because you're known for like the ridiculous song titles.
We're known internationally.
I would hope so. What song titles were left on the cutting room floor?
Will you toss me my phone, Rhodey? We can tell you some. I keep a constant list of songs that don't make the cut. So here's some song titles that did not make the cut. Titles. The Quiet Boner, in parentheses, private math. Banana Nut Spout. Leonard Skinner's The Count of Monte Cristo. None of these are good. It's Spankatopia, in parentheses, the Omega Sperm. Slow Jam, the Doo-Doo. Let's do 3 more. Ghost Ride the Wiener. Better to ask for forgiveness than to ask for Parmesan. In parentheses, give Daddy the cream.
Oh my god, that's so terrible.
And finally, I Shart Fuckabees.
I regret asking that question, and I'm probably going to regret asking this one. Will the title Tugging on Your Dick Through a Doorway finally make its way to a future 2D6 album?
Hold on, let me see if it's still on the list, because I ran these by a council of like maybe 10 people, and they said that is funny or that's not funny.
I thought that was hilarious.
You know, I probably did, but Tugging on Your Dick Through a Doorway is still on the list. So there's a chance that it could show up on a future album, but we do have about 50 titles on that list.
I mean, this is a fist bump, not like a tug.
Well, through that doorway. No, you know what? We're making the MIGeekScene promise right now. Tugging on Your Dick Through a Doorway will be on album 7 if album 7 ever exists.
Okay. Thank you very much. Well, could you walk me through your beat making process?
Sure. So basically I find a song. I make all the beats. I'm sorry, Cliff, for leaving you out of this one, but
it's true. My beat making process is I open an email from Stuck, and there's a beat in it.
Basically, I find a video game song I'm passionate about. So for the new album, for example, I've created 2 beats. One is based on Clotho, which is the main theme from the Genesis game Columns. It's like this very like orchestral, religious, choir-y song, but I was like, this would sound great with some big ass drums behind it. So basically, I think, you know, just as I listen to music in my everyday life, I find stuff that's cool, and I put it into Sony Acid, and then I chop it up into small portions. I decide what I'm going to use for the verse, what I'm going to use for the chorus. Usually I'll repeat the verse part, but I'll put like some stank on that ball, some English on it. So I'll cut things out and change the drums around and flip it and reverse it. And then I finish the beat, and then I send it to Cliff, and then I ask my wife, hey, how does this sound? And she says, I don't know. I don't give a shit. And that's about it. That's the process.
So why did you choose Hello Envy from Scott Pilgrim for the song Tickle Tastement, which I was very happy that you performed tonight. I was like, that is actually my favorite song off your latest album.
Really? Seriously. Oh, good.
I mean, like I messaged you a while ago, but I loved how you did the beat to that. It's different. It's a different vibe.
Thank you. Yeah. That was tricky because as soon as I heard the song, I was like, this is really cool, but the song's only like 34 seconds long on the Scott Pilgrim soundtrack. So I really had to make it varied, like cut it and screw it around and all sorts of stuff. But it was just another one of those songs where I heard it and I was like, this is a real chill jam. I think Cliff was unhappy with a lot of the beats from the latest album because there's too many chill jams on it. Right?
I wasn't necessarily unhappy with it. I wouldn't say that. I would say that I felt like we are typically a very high energy band.
That's true.
And it just, it felt like there was a lot of stuff. And I mean, having a good mix of older and newer songs is always good, but I felt like a lot of the newer stuff led to more chill moments, which when you're crafting a live set, you know, you do need to take the audience for a ride.
You're right.
But it just can't have like too much new stuff in a row.
Yeah, which we did for this. We played a shit ton of album 6 songs.
So you have to take them on a ride. Would you say a ticket to ride?
I would. I will give them lots of tickets to ride the 2D6 train to.
Oh my goodness! And speaking of board games, you've rapped about RPGs and board games on songs like "Start My Day with Screaming" and "Year of the Ox 2." Favorite board games?
Ooh, great question.
Because now we're going into the more personal section about you guys.
Sure. I mean, my favorite board game of all time is Seven Wonders, but I love Betrayal at House on the Hill so much. What else? Oh, sorry, I burpeed. I
clearly professional, I see.
Well, with professional outlets, I act appropriately. So yeah, I don't know. I guess I'd say, Seven Wonders is my jam. Yeah, that's my favorite.
I have to say is, yes, my gatekeeper.
Oh, God, Atmosphere. Have you played Atmosphere?
I don't really play board games.
Damn. It's a VHS board game. So you pop that VHS in. The gatekeeper is like, you puny peasants, I will tell you what to do. You're playing as monsters who are trying to escape hell. And he tells you, like, whoever is rolling the dice right now, stop. You are banished to a black hole. And you have to follow the gatekeeper's orders. It's a very strange board game, but...
When he comes on the screen, you have to say, yes, my gatekeeper.
Yeah.
And there's somebody like who will sit there and has to task. If somebody doesn't say it, they get banished.
I reference the gatekeeper on Year of the Ox 2, looking grim as the gatekeeper need a facelift. And I reference Khufu the Mummy and Baron Samedi on Too Fat to Clap, who are two of the monsters from... Yeah, you're right. I can't believe I missed Atmosphere.
Cliff, why is Portal one of your favorite video game series? Just the writing of it it's so well done. Just the wittiness, the physics engines involved, the puzzle solving nature of it. It's just a fun game to spend some time around, just flying around a room.
Well, it's excellent. Stuck. Saker. I don't even know what we're doing.
Either way. I don't care.
Staker. Why is Silent Hill one of your favorite game series?
I mean, Silent Hills 1 and 2 are so good. Silent Hill 3 is all right. After that, it kind of falls off. But Did
you play PT?
Of course I played PT. PT's incredible. If Silent Hills had been an actual game, that would have been... I mean, every night before I go to sleep, I think about Kojima. I think about... what's his name? Norman Reedus and Guillermo del Toro. Just like what angry god took that away from us? I don't know. I love Silent Hill 2. I think is one of the best stories ever told in video gaming. I think it definitely can prove that video games can tell an interesting narrative story with an unreliable narrator and all those classic storytelling tropes in an interesting way. Yeah.
Okay. Any other favorites?
Earthbound is my favorite game of all time, ever. Love that game.
The Ace Attorney series, the original trilogy storyline, and a lot of people shit on Apollo Justice, but I liked it a lot. It was so fun, especially seeing a hobo Phoenix, just how everything twists and turned to come to, the new. I don't want to give away stuff, but the game's been out for a while. Go play the freaking games. But they just, especially within the original trilogy, storylines that you thought that the ends were tied up from the first and second games, turns out, oh no, there were still knots that you needed to make on there, and it just everything from those three games tied together so well.
I've never played any of the games. I've wanted to, but I just never had the correct system to play the.
They're on mobile now. You can buy them on mobile.
I refuse to play my video games on mobile.
I'm with you.
Thank you.
If there was a series that would make an easy transition to mobile, it would be the Ace Attorney. You don't have to walk anywhere in them except for the Miles Edgeworth game.
Okay, that's fair. Since we're at an anime con, I would be foolish not to bring up anime. Favorite anime series?
My favorite anime series of all time is Kare Kano, His and Her Circumstances. It's adorable. It's the best. Have you ever seen it?
I think I have. It's been a long time.
Yeah, it's Gainax. It's just a cute story about Miyazawa Yukino. She's a high school girl and she falls in love with this boy and their trials and tribulations. I'm a sucker for shoujo, and the anime is great, but the manga continues the story, and it's also wonderful.
What about my Meizan Ikoku by Rumiko Takahashi? That was a good manga series.
I do love Takahashi. I've never read or watched. I love. Listen, man, I can't watch everything. Don't act disappointed in me. Give me that cold shoulder. Go to hell. No, I love Ranma, but I never got around to Ikoku.
Legend of Black Heaven. It is a wonderful 13-episode anime about a washed-up metal band's music powering an alien race's ultimate weapon.
I think I've heard about that.
It is amazing.
I have to actually check that out. But speaking of checking out, we're going on to the next question. That's such a terrible segue, but I love it. The shows from
Segway.
You know, fun fact: the guy who was like one of the, I want to say the creator of the Segway, died on a Segway while falling off of a cliff.
That's insane.
I mean, horrible tragedy, but at the same time, it's quite ironic.
Very impressive, yeah.
Very impressive. Oh my goodness. Wait. What was that guy's name from Doug? No, that was
Mr. Dink. Oh, you want to hear?
Very expensive.
Hey there, Douglas. You want to come see my new grill? It's very expensive.
Wow. And on to the next question.
Hey there, Valentine.
He can do the whole series.
Oh my goodness. Like, I have met Billy West, who was
everything.
Doug, and he was Roger Klotz. So
he was both.
Yes, he was.
Oh, cool.
And he's actually going to be coming to Michigan again.
Oh, for what con?
Cherry Capital Comic-Con in Traverse City. So that's going to be quite a joust for you to go up there.
Quite a joust.
A joust.
I agree. It might be a tempest for me to get up there.
No,
2.5 jumps.
It's not going to be a jaunt. It is a joust.
Oh, I see.
So, all right, can I get back to with my journalistic integrity for crying out loud? The shows from director Shinichiro Watanabe seem to be important to you because you've included samples from Cowboy Bebop and Samurai Champloo on the following songs: I Break for Cake, 16 Dicks on the Suitcase, and Scallop Potato versus My Nuts. Did you sample for these shows because of the killer soundtracks?
I love that I just forced you to say those words. I didn't even listen to the question. I was too excited about you saying Scallop Potato versus My Nuts. Yeah, we did... what was I Break for Cake's our song with Luke? I thought that was Quiplash. We sampled Quiplash on there.
No. I Break for Cake had a very quick horn from the beginning of Tank.
You know my songs way better than I do.
Because when I first heard that, I was like, is that from Tank? And I was like, and then I saw like the beat list, and I was like, confirmed.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I mean, music is front and center in his works, and so I mean, obviously that shines through. I mean, Samurai Champloo, never has there been a better soundtrack to Ninja Bass, and like that whole soundtrack is just unbelievably good. Yeah, I got nothing to add to that.
I would agree, but then that follows up with the next question: is it because of Steve Bloom, because you've included a sample from great teacher Onizuka on Morbidly Obese Monopoly?
Jesus, you did your research.
I connect the dots, sir.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Sure. What answer do you want? What do you want? You did some real great research, Joe.
Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah, it's because of Stephen Bloom. That's why.
Jesus Christ! Do you want me to do like the typical? Well, you guys don't get interviewed in the first place, but do you want me to do like
what got you into music in the first place?
Yes. Well, I already answered that. I mean, you already answered that, but like, so you like the hip hop?
I do.
Do you do beatboxing?
We used to do beatboxing for our songs.
You used to do beatboxing.
Yeah, Cliff had a song called Return of the Bee, like the first year we started working together. And we didn't have enough songs to do a whole playlist. So I used to beatbox, and he used to sing the entire, 2.5 minutes of Return of the Bee while I died, running out of breath. We're not beatboxers. We're not good at it.
Fair enough, but forgive me for actually doing research on you.
I forgive you.
Well, I didn't ask for it. I just said forgive me, but I didn't say please forgive me. Okay, there's no question mark at the end of that.
Simon didn't say it.
MIGeekScene didn't say. So, thoughts on the Berserk anime, since you've included a sample from Susuma Hirasawa's Forces on the song Homeward Bound is the story of some dumb animals who should have stayed lost.
Hell yeah. I love Berserk. Was one of the first anime that I got into. That's not true. It was one of the first anime that my college anime club showed, but I was in anime long before that. But Berserk's the opening and ending song, Forces, and then I can't remember what the ending song is called, but it's the most English, insane.
With one of the worst guitar intros.
Oh, I love it so much. But I mean, yeah, they're all incredible songs. I don't know. I think, it's interesting because I think in the first, especially 4 albums, I had a clear direction because I was like, I love this song, I love that song, I love this song. And I have a music library of whatever, like an insane amount of songs. I used to be a DJ in college, like 70,000 songs or something. So like I found a bunch of samples I wanted to use. And then for albums 5 and 6, it became a lot harder for me. I kind of had to dig up samples. Like I came upon a lot of new stuff. I think you probably noticed there's a lot of newer music sampled on 5 and 6. And then on 7, we just hit a wall creatively. I think we suck, and we have nothing done for album 7, dude. Two beats, 2 songs. That's about it. But yeah, it's rough because I've used up all of my buildup that was inside me. I pushed it out already, I got nothing left. I don't know. We're done. We're announcing our retirement live, exclusive to MIGeekScene.
So you're gonna start MIGeekScene?
I think that's not a bad idea.
Well, have you watched the movie trilogy?
No, I've not watched any Berserk past the first 26 episode series.
Well, the movie trilogy pretty much consolidates the first 26 episodes, But it has more CG, and it's like the first 2 movies are like kind of rough to watch, but like by the third one, they got it working to an extent. But then they've just recently created like 2 new seasons, and they look terrible.
Oh, I heard they were great. They look terrible though. I haven't even looked at them at all.
Because it's pretty much CGI rendered.
More CG?
Yes, more CG.
I miss hand-drawn cells. I mean, I don't know anybody who doesn't miss hand-drawn cells, but CG sucks.
Have you read the manga for Berserk?
No. I've not. I don't know that much about Berserk. Don't act offended when I haven't done something. You're the elite geek that's just like, oh, you haven't seen Nadesco? You plebeian.
I'm gonna quote Filthy Frank on this one. Like, excuse me, you haven't reached my anime expertise level.
Oh boy.
My elite geek scene.
No, I would never. Normally, I would never do that. Because like it's total BS. Like, oh, I want to hang out with that person because they watch that anime series. Because it's you, I'm going to look down on you.
Sure.
Cliff, I'm like, all right, dude, I completely understand. But you, I hate you so much.
Fine, fair.
I think I've seen in total about 14 animes in my life.
That's fair. That's fair. Stuck. You must have tested the gods of nostalgia because in the song, Number 8 Will Blow Your Mind, you stated reboot just for the irony, a new Harry Potter, but triple the Hermione. Okay. I'm sure you've seen the trailer for Reboot the Guardian Code. Thoughts or self-blame by chance?
Oh, boy. Hold up. So I've been playing a lot of Reboot the Guardian Code mobile game on my cell phone. It just came out this week. It's not good and it's not fun. I've been so deep into Reboot the Guardian Code. Oh, that was almost really cool because Reboot has been and is one of my biggest. I love that show so much. I hate. What was your question? I don't even remember because I got so excited that I could pull up the game.
Well, I like the fact that as your phone was like falling down, the last thing I saw was your beautiful wife looking at my face.
Thank you. Are you cuckolding me? This is a weird thing to say. Yeah. All right.
I'm just being like your co-host Evan when he comes over to hang out with your beautiful wife on a weekly basis to watch movies. But we'll get into that a little bit later as to who Evan is.
So much research. Guardian Code, I am excited for. It looks like shit. I'm sure it's not going to be good, but I'm going to keep an open mind. Hexadecimal looks great. They did a good job on her. I don't know.
So we're going to go back into a little bit of 2D6 stuff.
Okay.
I love your ridiculous videos. Do you two come up with the concepts for them?
Sometimes we do. We had a clear direction on what we wanted to do with Heaven is Dickless Dogs, which was Murder Our Friend.
Yeah. That one I came up with a whole storyboard for. Heaven is Dickless. Yeah.
As far as the rest, with Horse Rapster 2K14, our friends at Cosmic Octopus said, "Hey, we've got a green screen. Come fuck around for 2 hours."
Basically.
And it'll work. It'll turn out, and it did.
That's actually hilarious. We basically just bought a bunch of food from the dollar store and said, let's film a video. That's why it's just bananas and marshmallows and Kool-Aid jammers.
So I was like, I love the juice drink scenes. Yeah. So you folks, if you haven't seen, that's actually hilarious. Be prepared to be disturbed.
The shirt that I was wearing in that video, we filmed that at his parents' house. and it was a random shirt of his that he happened to have there that was extremely too tight and small on me. And it's like, oh, it's like 25, 30 degrees outside. Let's squirt each other with jammers.
There was snow on the ground. It was bad. Yeah. But then some stuff we just sort of leave in the hands of others. Sadness Train did a video for us that was really good that we just we bought a poop mask and then we let him direct it.
You were walking in the park.
Yes, indeed. It was a fun day. Our friend Cranberry is currently directing a video for us. She's an animator, so we're gonna have our first animated music video soon for the Big Name Fan song from the 6th album. I don't remember what the title is.
Don't look at me. I didn't memorize all of them, for crying out loud. I typed this all out.
Yeah, but she's doing an animated video for us, which we are very, very excited for.
Stuck, do you have a penchant for violence? The reason why I asked this is because you stabbed Grindable Grash to death in Heaven is Dickless Dogs, and you decapitated a man via baseball bat in Cease Your Flavor.
Boy, I guess I must. I never thought about it, but your question enraged me, and I felt like punching you immediately, so I guess I do.
It wouldn't be the first time you've assaulted me, but we'll get to that a little bit later.
Wait, okay.
So what is up with the end to the horse rap story at 2K14?
Was that my idea? I think
I don't remember whose idea it was.
Somebody had the brilliant idea. I want to say it was me. Of like we just need to get a shot of you petting the horse while you're yes. I wasn't gonna sell him out like that, but I mean, if you want to, that's fine.
Brian would be delighted to be name checked on an interview.
Yes, our friend Brian Hanna.
Hi, Brian.
He was wearing the horse mask and shirt, and like, oh, Brian, you need to after we put the crown on him, you need to just kneel down and let Saker pet you.
And slightly neigh. But was that music from, the music at the end of it, was that from Ren and Stimpy?
That was all Cosmic Octopus. The people who put the video together, I have no idea where that music came from. They just sort of threw it in the end.
Because it reminded me, seriously, I thought it was like one of those random scenes when Ren is just maniacal and you just hear this horrible violin sound in the background.
Yeah, those building strings. Maybe. I don't know.
So, any Spinal Tap moments while you're performing?
In what sense?
Comedic mishaps.
Sometimes someone, not naming names, throws a water bottle that still has water in it at other people, not naming names.
Should we talk about perhaps our two most terrible moments?
Because that was actually what I was going to bring up, was worst shows that you've ever had.
Let's get into that. Oh boy. I'm going to sell them out.
Normally I am completely against bad mouthing situations in public,
bridges.
But this bridge, we've pretty much already burnt it as far as it can be. It's
all right. I'm gonna say right now,
crisp.
It better not be Kiss, because I'm not getting sued. I don't care about your feud with them. We're gonna cut that part out if it's Kiss.
No, it's a con called ZipCon in Akron, Ohio. They're a little University of Akron con. There was
This better not get me sued, dude.
Oh, well, it might. I don't know. Why don't you cut this out? All right. We'll talk about Odd Mall instead. I mean, I know that won't get you sued because Andy Hopp is our dear, dear friend. He runs a thing every year called Odd Mall. It's a delight.
Multiple times a year.
Yes. He runs 6 or 7 a year now. They're basically just
big vendor fairs.
Yeah. But he has musicians that come there too. But the problem is that he wanted musicians, but he didn't quite know how to make that work. We did the very first Odd Mall. And so basically there was a speaker and a mixer, and we plugged our stuff in and absolutely nothing worked. It sounded like garbage, but we decided let's do the show anyway. It was 3:00 on a Sunday. Nobody showed up. We were in an atrium, so the sound was just we were in a cavern. And also it was all static because nothing worked in the mixer, which I think was broken. It was a nightmare show. It was terrible.
Sounded like you show tonight, so excellent.
Yeah, basically. Our show tonight was badass. Shut up. Try to deny it. We had a great show. We had a huge crowd. It was fun.
And the thing is, we always love and relish the opportunity to perform. We're not bad-mouthing the opportunity to perform.
And Andy knows we love him. We've played his con every year, his actual con.
I think that just the Odd Mall scene and everything, it's more suited for, I mean, yeah, obviously go for like, you know, the stuff that's different, but more singer-songwriter kind of things, like
like McFarlane.
Yeah, like acoustic guitars and stuff like that. Minimal, loud, screaming at you-ness. Yeah. Because we had a friend who was performing. The next time we performed at Odd Mall, they had a stage They had a stage in the main vendor area and in the atrium again. We were playing the atrium that year as well. But a lot of the people in the main vendor hall were upset just because they had a hard time interacting with customers. And it's more one of those things you need like a lighter tone to it. It can still be weird and different because that's, you know, the goal of it. It's Odd Mall. You want things that you're not going to find at your average vendor fair. But it's just one of those things that needs to be more geared towards the audience.
I love that you're giving Andy Hop advice for 7 years ago.
No, it's not advice for Andy Hop 7 years ago. It's advice for other people who are planning. Like, keep in mind what you're going for as your aesthetic,
good call.
And book towards that.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, we'll get out of negativity and go to more negativity.
Great.
When did the feud with Dynamo Dash begin?
Dynamo's your buddy. Where did that begin?
So, there's never been so much a feud with Dynamo as it's been hey, you're a really good rapper and you're willing to work with us. You should just make fun of us relentlessly, and it'd be funny.
I'm really sad he retired from rap, so he hasn't been on the last couple albums because he's just done. But
like he tries here and there to actually get motivation to put out stuff, but what his main passion has been is his YouTube channel, Dash Mode Gaming, which you should go check out. Plug.
Fair enough. Who is MC Mom?
Oh, that's a mystery. We'll never reveal the identity of MC Mom.
Is it you?
Excuse me?
Is it you with autotone?
It is not me. It's definitely not me. For real. Man, no, MC Mom killed that song. Oh, I love MC Mom. Yeah, so great.
Fine. 2D6 never kisses its tails.
I will not.
All right, fine. So do you want to tell me about MC Mom? We'll go on to the next one. Punk band 3D6 did a cover of Rainbow Trout. Do you plan on doing a cover of one of their songs? Because I know that Cliff was on their song Jerkin' Off, so that doesn't count.
No, okay. I need to download their stuff. We weirdly, like within the same week, I think we both became bands, like completely independently of one another. They're a Las Vegas band, we're an Ohio band, and then we sort of discovered each other because we're both nerd bands, and kind of had a little love fest when Cliff was on their song. But I think you can do a rap song in punk rock style. I think it's somewhat difficult to do a punk rock song in rap style because I think the lyrically, when you have a song like that, there's fewer lyrics that are more spread out. And so for rap, you kind of have to tightly condense your lyrics and pack them. And does that make sense?
You have to be more creative than we are to pull it off.
That's also true.
No, I mean, I know you're clearly talented, Cliff, but so Stuck, you're basically saying that you're not up to the task.
Yikes, absolutely not.
You're mediocre at best. My goodness.
At best, yeah. You think you can diss me, but I already hate myself enough for the both of us, Joe.
Oh, I don't think you could match the level of intense hatred that I have for you. Born at Random BattleCon Friday night.
Talk about this?
Oh, well, we can lead into that a little bit.
Keep mentioning it.
So, Stuck, let's talk about your specific fear of chairs.
Okay, fair. What do you want to talk about, Joe?
Why? Do you have a specific fear of chairs? And what is your specific fear of chairs? Oh, yeah, that's right. Stuck here doesn't seem to like chairs that just are randomly placed in places they're not supposed to be. Yes. Like, say, for instance, like if he wakes up tomorrow morning and there's like 3 chairs just with their backs to him at the foot of his bed.
Oh, I don't know what it is, but if I open the door to an empty room and there's just a chair in the middle of the room, tell me that's not terrifying. That's ridiculous. Who was sitting there and why?
I'd be happy that there was like a chair there. It's like someone was considerate and left this for me.
Shut up. You'd be terrified. I know you would be terrified because it's terrifying. No, I hate chairs in random places. That is one of my worst fears. I will go so far as to, like, if I'm entering a hallway, I will have to shut my eyes and just walk down the hallway blind if I know that there's a chair and I can't move it. I just hate it. It freaks me out. You know what? I was actually replaying Silent Hill 1, going back to something you said earlier, and in the school, there's a room where there's just like a chair in the middle, and I was like, I think this might be where my fear was born, because I played it when I was very young, when it first came out, and I think that was the birth of Chairs in Random Places fear.
Next time you're coming to Shuto Con, I'll have it placed in my writer as press that there'll be a chair in the bathroom. Like, the second you go in there, like, there's a chair directly across from the toilet. Like, who would place a chair there? And I'm like, you're welcome, Stuck.
Our rider from now on is you can't also invite MIGeekScene.
But so, I mean, obviously you have a fear of chairs. Is that why you threw a chair at me and destroyed my shin over 2 years ago at Random Battle Con? Yeah, we're getting into it now. Yeah, if those who didn't see the old interview, this Reprobate and myself were playing JS Joust, and he was like running on top of these chairs, and I was like chasing after him. He just kicks one out at me, mushes my shin. That thing just swelled up. It was like, and then I came back to finish the game, but my shin was hurting for weeks, thanks to you.
Okay, if you've never played JS Joust, basically, each person has a PS Move controller, and it's like a full wine glass. If the wine glass tips and any wine falls out, you lose, right? So, other than that, there are no rules to JS Joust. You can throw fists, you could throw bows, you could throw chairs, and guess what? I do what it takes to win. And maybe that makes me a little less principled than you, but you know what? It makes me a winner, because you were a loser that night.
You really do have a penchant for violence.
Because as you said the last time, yep, I wrote that V on top of your forehead in lipstick.
Jesus. Did I say that?
Yes, you did.
Oh, Christ, I'm sorry.
And then after you took the lipstick, you proceeded to do like Steve Buscemi's character on what was it? Billy Madison. Yep, I'm glad I called that guy and apologized to him. So, all right, enough about you, Stuck, because I really don't care so much about you anymore. Cliff, you are a fan of pro wrestling like myself.
Yes. Favorite
Fed or Feds?
Well, during the Monday Night Wars, I was always a WWE guy. I had friends who were into ECW, but I just never really got to see any of the tapes or get to watch it when it was actually on the air, because like Heyman said in their infamous shoot promo, you never knew because they didn't advertise it. Like, you had to know it was on to know to watch it. More recently, I've been getting into New Japan.
Oh, okay,
Ring
good.
of Honor, and I had hope for TNA like 12 years ago.
You mean when they were doing like the weekly pay-per-views?
Yeah.
It was heavily focusing on the X Division.
Yeah.
Even though Jeff Jarrett every week was just squashing everybody as to be champ.
Well, I mean, when you're as big of a ego as Jeff Jarrett has been said to be through the dirt sheets, and you own the promotion, I'm not surprised. But I mean, there was still, a focus on the other wrestlers to an extent.
Okay. So have you ever checked out Chikara or PWG?
I haven't taken the time to check them out yet. There's just so much good wrestling anymore. And you can say what you want about the main roster of WWE, but like NXT has been phenomenal. Like, there's just so much good wrestling out there. There's just not enough time to check it all out.
Oh, I'll definitely send you some stuff. Do you have any favorite wrestlers, past or present?
I actually went for Halloween 2 different years as 2 different Mick Foley characters. One year I was Mankind, one year I was Dude Love.
The Dudester.
Yep. I skipped over Cactus Jack, went straight for Dude Love, because that's where the money's at.
The dude's a chick magnet.
Oh, absolutely.
So, do you watch by chance? I'll throw this one out. Favorite era of WWF/WWE?
Oh. I mean, it's when I started watching it and gotten interested. Probably Attitude Era, though. I've been a huge fan of, like, not so much the PG era or the new era that they're calling, but just the women's revolution and evolution. Like, if I could have this generation's women's division during the Attitude Era, it would be phenomenal. They're so talented, and like this generation's wrestlers are definitely the most athletic and can do insane things within the ring. Like, but like, you know, they were more willing to take risks with their storylines during the Attitude Era. And if you'd had the talent of the women's division now during that, then, you know, you would have, I think, a lot different outlook from fans in the, you know, towards just wrestling in general with the way WWE went from that.
Yeah, I mean, because like now, I mean, like you mentioned, like the women's division, like they're giving it more respect than they did in the past. Because if you look at like old footage from like Japan, like Joshi, the female wrestlers, like they were putting on some classic matches.
Oh, like, yeah. Like they had something close to that with Alundra and the Joshi wrestlers that they brought in to face her when,
Bull
but
Nakano.
like, yeah, like, but I mean, when you only had like that like small group of like 4 or 5 people who could go like Alundra did, as opposed to now where you've got like 20 to 25 women on the main roster that can actually, you know, wrestle at that high of a level. Like it's much easier to have a credible women's division now when you have that many talented women.
I'm very appreciative of the women's division now. Like Asuka's been, I mean, she used to be Kana back in Japan. Only issue I have with Asuka is the stupid thong that she wears on top of her trunks. I'm like, just please, someone should have been like, no, everything else looks fine. Just take the thong off. Why are you putting a thong on top of your wrestling trunks? It is so distracting. I'm like, I'm not trying to be drawn to that. I'm trying to pay attention to your wrestling.
See, I look at that as
I
just...
have no idea what these two dorks are talking about.
Hey, man.
Shut up. It's not about you, okay? Back to you.
I just look at it. I look at it like almost akin to Goldust in the Attitude Era when you know Dustin debuted under that character. It's just another piece of psychology. Like
okay,
it's not necessary for her to have that, but you know, just the way she carries herself in the ring, the way she does it, just everything is all just a mental game for it. At least storyline psychology wise.
That's a very good analysis, sir. So thank you for schooling me. And that's not sarcasm at all. Do you watch Botchamania by chance?
Oh, Botchamania. Botchamania.
I haven't watched Botchamania in quite some time, but I love that series.
Botchamania is fantastic. It's actually an interesting thing. When there was a botch of Kurt Angle recently where he was trying to say Stephanie McMahon. He said McMahon wrong. It came out sounding like Megaran. And they actually had a still, which I screenshotted and posted onto Random's Facebook. I have his personal Facebook friend I'm friends on there with. I posted the picture because they posted his like Megaran logo with the all the gold controllers and everything around his neck. Like they had that next to Kurt Angle's head. I posted it on the screenshot. I'm like, bro, you made it.
That's true. Because I know he's a huge wrestling fan too. Mm-hmm. So once you make it onto Botchamania, you have made it. Now, are you into any wrestling podcast?
You know, I don't follow really many podcasts in general.
Okay.
But like, I'll go on YouTube and listen to like excerpts of interviews, or like I'll put on like just a random one. Like sometimes I'll just put on Talk is Jericho while I'm doing a thing, or you know, just a random Stone Cold one. I absolutely love the excerpts from Jim Cornette's Talking Sense.
Oh my goodness.
I love Jim Cornette.
Oh
so
my
much.
goodness. Like the vitriol that man spews on certain things. I would recommend Art of Wrestling by Colt Cabana because it's
I listened to his one with I listened to him for the first time when Punk came out about his leaving WWE.
All right, I will make this recommendation. One episode to check out is Cliff Compton Goes to Nigeria. And he talks about the great power Udi. I think that would be up your alley. So, one more topic on you, and then we'll finally get back to you.
Listen, I got my phone. I got that Reboot the Guardian Code game.
Cliff, I heard you were working on a new comedy song album. Is it going to be called Dad Stash?
It is not going to be called Dad Stash. That has long been gone.
Oh, okay.
Will it be called any of the other 10 names that you've had over the past 7 years?
No.
Okay.
No.
But you are working on a comedy song album.
I am. It's all random ideas that I've had that just either didn't really fit with the 2D6, or it's just like, that's a good idea, but it's not 2D6 idea. Like, not at all saying that it's bad. It's just the songs, the ideas themselves lend them to different styles than we do.
If it's not a 2D6 idea, it's good. So yeah, no, I understand. Hey, what's up?
It's like speaking to the mic for crying out loud. Well, all right. Well, speaking to the mic, Stuck, let's talk about your new podcasting venture called It's All Been Done Before podcast.
It's All Been Done podcast. Please do your research, Joe. Yeah, the before is not part of the title.
Well, you know what? Fine. We're going to edit this whole portion
No,
out. We're not talking about your podcast. Screw you. If you're going to show me up.
It's Barenaked Ladies retrospective. Everybody else do it.
No. All right. I'm sorry, sir. Let's 3, 2, 1. Begin scene.
Excellent.
Stuck, let's talk about your new podcasting venture called It's All Been Done Before podcast.
It's not before, you piece of shit. Let's talk about It's All Been Done, the Barenaked Ladies podcast. It's a ton of fun. It's me and my friend Evan, and we're going through the entire Barenaked Ladies chronology, one song at a time, starting with their first album, Gordon. And it's going to take us something like 4 years or something to get through them all. But we're having fun. We're 3 episodes in, so not very far at all yet.
So you mentioned Evan, who happens to go visit your beautiful wife on a weekly basis to go watch movies with her, and who somehow wants to put a chair in your backyard when you come home.
Evan is one of my best friends. He and my wife both studied extensively in Japan for a long time and worked there. And not together.
Each other.
Counselor, watch yourself. However, every Tuesday they get together and watch, it's Tokyo Tuesday, so they watch Taiga dramas together, and I leave the goddamn house because I ain't trying to have that historical Japanese bullshit going on around me. I just have no interest in it, so that's my board game night with my friends, and they cook ramen and watch Japanese historical dramas.
Because I've listened to all 3 episodes, and like you caught me right off the bat because I know you're not going out of your way to try to be funny. You guys are just having hilarious conversations.
Oh, thank you.
You know, I like the theory that the Barenaked Ladies are immortal vampire millionaires who have funded the third wave of swing music, who may or may not have Smash Mouth hunting after them because they're possibly vampire killers. I
mean, if you look at the clues from not just Fushu Man, but also Gordon, I think it's there. I mean, I don't see how you could possibly deny it. That's the problem with this podcast, is that I think people who like the Barenaked Ladies are going to listen to it and be like, what the fuck? And people who don't like the Barenaked Ladies are going to be like, I'm not interested. So it's a podcast for literally no one.
I mean, I can't say that I'm interested in the Barenaked Ladies, but I've definitely been interested in the 3 episodes that I've been listening to. I'm stopping at that because I'm no longer doing any more research on you.
Okay, good, perfect.
But I had my taste, and it was a bad taste, but it was enjoyable at first. It was like a reverse warhead, sweet on the outside but bitter and salty on the inside.
That sounds like me.
Yeah, that is you. I like that. No, you're sweet all over, buddy.
No.
Okay, never mind.
So after you are done with the Barenaked Ladies, are you going to start an Aqua podcast?
No, the Aquacast is not going to happen. Barbie Girl is not as good of a song as Enid. You need to listen to episode 2, viewers, to figure that out. Actually, we have some exciting episodes coming up. I have a friend, a video game composer named Too Mellow, who worked on the soundtracks for Read Only Memories 2064 and Cerebral, who's going to be on the 6th episode of the show.
And who also did the mixing and mastering on our last 3 albums.
4, 5, and 6, yeah.
No wonder they've been so good.
Yeah. You just insulted Cliff, not me.
No, all my insults are going to be at you because I can just bounce off Cliff and just right onto your...
He is rubber.
I won't say that word, but right onto your face.
And we have a real... Keep this a secret because I'm going to keep it under wraps, but we have a real life Canadian in episode 4. I'm super excited to have them on. Yeah, for real.
Well, what other bands would you like to podcast about then?
Oh my gosh. I don't... Barenaked Ladies, I've loved them since I was young. I could do a Weird Al podcast. I could do an Aquabats podcast. I could do a
Aqua.
But no. But none of them are, I think, as interesting as Barenaked Ladies, because as I'm getting older, I feel that the Barenaked Ladies are the perfect dad rock band. And I feel like anything else would be too hip. There's a certain delicious irony that comes along with like, who in the right mind would take time out of their day to make a Barenaked Ladies podcast? And so I just love that it's for no one. I think somebody would actually care about a Weezer podcast, but nobody would care about Barenaked Ladies one.
All right, gentlemen. Well, where would people be able to find that podcast? Stuck.
They can find it on iTunes, on Google Play, on Stitcher, at Been Done Pod, or our Facebook group. It's all been done, a Barenaked Ladies podcast.
So feel free to check it on. It's all been done before the podcast. All right, gentlemen, we're heading into the final 3 questions of this.
There's more crap.
This is the final 3. I mean, I'll just edit it to 1 minute and then call it good. So, well, actually, I'm going to omit this last one because I was going to ask what's next, but you already said you're fresh out of ideas because you're a hack. Stuck. Cliff, however, is the wellspring.
It might be true for this album.
It's possible.
Yeah.
I might have to whip out some kind of magic rod and dash some creativity into your orifice.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, hopefully we're going to do album 7. It's real slow going. At this point, we were putting out an album every 14 months. It's been since August, so like 9 months, I think. Like that. So we would really be like deep into the final recording stages, sending them off to get mixed or mastered at this point. So we are gonna, I don't know, we're kind of taking a break, I guess. The final song on album 6 is about how creatively depleted we are, and it's a autobiographical song for sure.
That is literally the most serious song we've ever written.
When I was thinking, like, if we went out on that song, if we never did an album 7, I think things would be okay. I mean,
I'm gonna Nardwar you.
I love Nardwar.
Dude, he's like one of my inspirations for interviews because no, seriously, like the amount of research, he may be a character, but the amount of research that guy does is amazing. Yeah. Like him, Steve Austin with his podcast, Colt Cabana with his podcast, are like, and Chris Hardwick are like my 4 inspirations for doing interviews. Like, try to take a blend of all of them. I swear to God, Nardwar has a team. There's no way, or he's stalking their house.
It is so cute that you think this interview is about you all of a sudden. Like you're talking about your process, like anybody gives.
Well, because you're talking, and I'm sick of your.
Get to the next question, please.
All right, thank you. No, screw you. We're gonna do this right. Anyways, I love Nardwar so much. Like,
me too.
No, he's a great one.
Serviettes.
Who are you?
So good. Did you see? Was it Drake when he had his like high school picture or something? Like, oh god, he's just amazing.
Did you ever see the Whitney Cummings interview that he did?
I don't think I did.
Well, she was like so like disinterested at first, like he was just asking everyone else questions because they kept bouncing in. Sarah Silverman came in, was being a jerk, and then he was like, "All right, well, Sarah, with that being said, doot doodaloot doot." You know, just shooing her off.
Okay.
And then, like, Whitney was like, oh, God. And then he honed in.
Really?
And he's like, he asked her a bombshell question right after. She's like, yeah. It's like, wow, you Googled deep. You Googled hard, you know. And then from that point on, like, you could see her slowly, like, realizing who he was. And she was like, oh, my goodness, this guy is great. You know, awesome. Like, and she even admitted, like, I was originally, like, annoyed but you're really good at this, you know, so that's what I'm trying to achieve. I mean,
well, you got the annoying part down, so you got to get to the good part. So.
Well, I mean, I look to you for inspiration for being an annoying,
that's good,
an annoying individual. So if people wanted to find out more about your music, where could they go?
2d6music.com, I think, has all our links: Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, or 2d6music.bandcamp.com if you just want to straight up buy the songs. That's it. Yeah.
All right. And final question. What would you like to say to your fans throughout the years?
Why?
Yeah. Why?
I don't get it.
Just explain it.
You're like the person who goes to a pizza shop and buys a sandwich. What are you doing?
There's so many other good bands out there. Like, go to a sandwich shop if you want a sandwich. Why?
This has been Delicious Dish. No. Well, folks, I met with Sweaty Wieners, you know, but
Sweaty Balls.
But they also did a Sweaty Wiener one too.
Really?
Yeah, but don't you dare quiz me on Alec Baldwin.
Sorry, my bad.
Well, folks, this is Joe from MIGeekScene, finally doing a proper interview with 2D6, and I will never ever do this ever again.
Oh, nope. Well,
but,
thank you, Joe.
you.
I don't want your thanks. Okay. Cliff, thank you so much. I appreciate you, dude.
You know what? Before we sign off, I have a question for you. Recently in the wrestling world, news broke about something, and
Daniel Bryan?
Yes.
I'm so happy about that.
Daniel Bryan he had issues with concussions. He'd get a lot of them, and because of a MRI that came back, the way that it looked on there, it said, his brain might not be okay, so he was forced into retirement. And it was a sad day for a lot of wrestling fans because
agreed. His ROH stuff's amazing.
And it was probably the best booking the WWE had done in a long time. And so the majority of the fan base was really sad to see him have to retire. But within that, there was like a 1 out of 10,000 chance or something ridiculous, astronomical like that it could be misdiagnosed. Apparently, he was that 1 in 10,000. He had been going for the last year and a half or so to different, concussion specialists and doctors and neurologists going to see, and they all cleared him. And finally, this past Tuesday, before the episode of SmackDown went on, WWE finally cleared him to return to in-ring competition
after 2 years off. So it's very inspirational because he came back after being out for so long. There's always that one. That 1 in a million chance. So I think it's inspirational for you, Stuck, because maybe you might have 1 in a million chance of being having some talent, but that's not going to happen anytime soon. So with that being said, folks, this is Joe from MIGeekScene here with DJ Stuck and Cliff V of 2D6 for the 3-year anniversary of MIGeekScene at Shuto Con. Take it easy. I hate you so much, Stuck.
I just stopped the recording.